doing things, detoxifying your body, using, different types of toothpaste, anti-fluoridated toothpaste or whatever it is. I mean, we just had, Dr. Happy on the other day, and he, talking about breathing and taking time to breathe and investing in that knowledge, and actually next week he'll be speaking to the healing powers of water and alkaline water. I mean, these things aren't, this isn't champagne. This is stuff that we need to do, to live our best lives, and it's really interesting. And we have to, I feel like there needs to be more of a conversation around this being part of a daily life, like what you're speaking of, as opposed to just something that's super special. It should just be a standard.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because with detoxing, it's resetting like your taste buds. It's resetting your body. So when you get too far off balance, you know how, Janice, sometimes, you may go on vacation and you may have, a little bit more cake than you would when you come home, or, there's some type of celebration in the family.
You might go home for Thanksgiving and eat all your mother's food.
Exactly. Well, we need to be equipped with the right information in order to be able to cleanse ourselves and get back on track and focus, because it's not what you do some of the time, it's what you do all the time that makes the difference. And that's a quote by my naturopath, Dr. Williams, actually, that I stole.
And so, I guess that goes into the idea, and I wrote this down while you were talking, about the idea of product versus program. Because, I noticed that you mentioned that with Restored Inc., that it's not just about products. It's not about a pill to suppress the effects of a learned behavior or a consistent behavior. Correct me if I'm wrong, but your programs are really about changing the lifestyle that requires the need of the product.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. And I do understand, like on the radio, they have products which work for cleansing purposes. But what I teach in Restored Inc.'s program is how to not only cleanse the body, but also how to begin regenerating the cells, how to begin to heal the body internally as you are pushing the waste out. So it's twofold. It's not just about, let me clean my colon so I can eat more. No, it's about, hey, let's cleanse, but also let's give the body the nutrition that it needs so that we can reverse the very thing that caused us to have certain diseases and disorders in the first place. And that's what makes it different. So when you're drinking a solution, is it, first of all, natural? Does it have any healing products in it? Does it have any oxygen? What is it? What is it for? And not to say that there's not a place for it, because sometimes, again, you just may overeat and you want something quick. That's fine. But when you're seeking out a permanent lifestyle change, or to be able to be proactive versus reactive, then that's what Restored Inc.'s program focuses on.
Yeah, and actually, that's amazing. Awesome. That it's structured in that way. A good friend of mine told me once that with these cleanses and detox programs or products, even if they are natural, and you let me know your opinion on the idea that it's not even so much as what it gets rid of, although that's a big part of it, but it's also almost equally important as what it's putting back in.
Yes, that's absolutely true, because when we're getting rid of waste, and it could be you're taking a laxative or Metamucil, it will throw off the electrolytes of the body. It can do that. And so you're not feeling good. You're not feeling energetic. You're not feeling strong. And with cleansing, what you should feel is a newfound energy, not being off balance, because perhaps you got rid of a lot more than you were supposed to, and then now you don't know or understand what to put in after you've gotten the waste out.
Okay. And and that would say would that be in the same vein of treating each area holistically, or
yes.
like is that? Oh, okay. I was just kind of tying that in. I felt like that was what that was referring to.
Yes, absolutely. Treating each area holistically. So basically, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but if it's okay, I wanted
go ahead.
because I was going to go into the physical part of the detox, and then the mental, and then the spiritual. And before I start there, though, if it's okay, I want to just state some statistics in regards to African American women. And the reason being is the information that I actually pulled up, which comes from the MUSC Health Heart and Vascular Center, it stated that fewer than half of African American women, about 41%, consider themselves well informed about cardiovascular disease. And I want to point out how African American women fall on top for just about every disease out here, and it's disheartening. And I want our women to pay attention. So what the statistics show is African Americans are at greater risk for heart disease, stroke, and other cardiovascular diseases, more so than Caucasian. With black females, it's more prevalent, 44.7%, compared to 32.4% found in white females. African American females and males have higher death rates from heart disease, stroke, and other cardiovascular diseases, and that's more so than white females and males. High blood pressure is the leading cause of stroke, and of course, our black women are at top, 45.4%. As many as 20% of all deaths in hypertensive African American women may be due to their high blood pressure. So those are just a few of the things I wanted to put out there because I really want us to pay attention and not to play with this thing. As I have clients, and they'll bring friends, and then friends want to joke and talk about, oh, I can't give up my pork. I love my bacon, and as if it's cute. And the sad part is that down the line, I had a situation just to happen recently where I saw a woman who 6 months ago had come in with one of my clients. The client was trying to convince the woman to do the detox program. And she had already suffered a stroke in the past and was not interested, and that was her thing. Well, I like to eat my this and that and all that. So, okay, I'm not here to try to, change anybody or anything like that. I'm here for those that want to change. So just last week, the client came in and brought the same woman. The woman was on 2 canes. So I didn't ask. I just fulfilled the order that my client was coming in for. On the way out, my client says, and she lets me know that her friend had suffered another stroke in September. And I said, I'm so sorry to hear that. And so I'm not quite sure if they wanted me to go into a spiel about how it's important to change your health. I'm not quite sure about that. But all I could do was shake my head because that hurt me, because it was so preventable. But the love for food was so much more important than changing her diet that, there was nothing I could do. So that's why I wanted to bring that out, Janice.
Absolutely. And we actually, and we'll actually get to our question in a second. I just wanted to note, really interesting. I was speaking with my great uncle. I actually have a great uncle that lives in California. He's been a triathlete since the 70s, and he's like almost 80 years old. And he actually has larger muscles than my brother, who's like under 25. So it's actually quite funny to see them side by side. But anyway, he speaks to older people in California about, being healthy and, different ways that they can be, fit even, when they're up in age. And one of the things that he brought up to me when I decided to be a vegetarian, and it was definitely seen as a very strange undertaking, you know, within my family. And he was just saying, you know, really it's about, you know, understanding what food represents to some people. Some people, you know, food isn't really just food. You know, it's communal. It's sometimes the only time they sit with their family. It's the only way that they relate. Sometimes it's a substitution. Sometimes it's a way that they can put something in between them and the other person, as opposed to actually dealing with an issue. You know, sometimes it's a crutch. I mean, you know, it's just really interesting to hear his perspective of it. You know, so people, in a way, it's really interesting to watch. You know, people, you know, eat things or do things, and they know that, you know, it's directly correlated to some of the demise that they're experiencing physically, but it's because it's more than just the act of eating. You know, it seems to be psychologically connecting in another way.
Yeah,
but that was just a quick note. We do have Valerie on the line, or a question. So Valerie, are you there?
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
Valerie.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes, we can hear you. Hi, Valerie.
Yes. Hi. I was curious to know, when you complete the detox program of fruits and vegetables, when you're done with the program, what would your first meal be after you detox? What goes in after that?
That's a great question, Valerie. Generally, when you're breaking the detox, you want to break it with fruits and vegetables to start out, and then I suggest a vegan food. That's how I do with my clients. Something that's mild, not too harsh, plant-based, that your body can, again, begin to digest and get used to digestion. When you're doing fruits and vegetables, you are giving your body, your digestive system, a break. So you want to ease into it with some fresh fruits and some fresh vegetables, and then go into that first meal and take your time. Now, with my particular clients also, I teach them how to eat right for their blood type. So that's something that they leave with a list of foods that works according to their blood type. Did that answer your question, Valerie?
I wanted to let you know that I'm sitting here listening to you. I'm writing down affirmations.
Oh,
and,
awesome.
Yes. I'm loving life and living it abundantly, and this love supersedes my love for food and vices. So I just want you to know that this is inspiring me to
that's
desire.
So awesome.
And I look forward to participating in your detox program for the new year.
Thank you, Valerie. That's awesome. Thank you.
And you're definitely thank you, Valerie, and you stirred the interest of actually Mushin Shimsu. So Mushinsu actually has something that she wants to add.
Yay, my life coach. My mentor, my teacher.
Oh, that's funny. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine. Hi, Moo.
So, hey, everyone. I just want to say thank you so much for the work that you do, Tammye. And when you were quoting the statistics about women, it occurred to me what a crisis this would be or is in our community, because women are the nurturers of our families.
Yes.
Women
wow.
do have the responsibility of taking care of themselves, but they also pass information about food to the children.
Yes.
So if you have a bad diet, then your child is going to have a bad diet.
Yes.
If you don't know anything about food, then you're not teaching your child or children anything about food. So that was one thing. The other thing is, women are also responsible for nurturing and taking care of their men.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is huge. I mean, when I heard, of course, I've looked at this in several different ways, but to hear you say it and to have those numbers be so high, I'm